Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by the head baseball coach at Michigan State. Of course, that is Jake Boss Jr. How's it going?
Going great, Casey. How are you?
Doing well. We're about a few weeks away from the season starting, and what's it been looking like these first few weeks for the Spartans?
Well, so far so good, Casey. You know, we had a really good fall. Got a lot of guys back and healthy, especially on the mound. So that's pretty encouraging. And right now, we only get 4 hours a week with our guys right now. So captains are doing a lion's share of running practice. But our first official start date is for this coming Friday. So, I know everybody's excited and chomping at the bit and getting ready to go.
Okay, I know you might not know a lot about where everyone's going to be, but kind of take me around the diamond and kind of explain to the fans watching about what Michigan State possibly could look like in the infield, the outfield, the catcher's mound, and also the pitcher's mound.
Yeah, well, a lot of returning guys back defensively, Casey, and offensively, I guess, as well. So we're excited about that. In the outfield, Jack Frank and Casey Mays are both back. They both played a lot of baseball for us last year and throughout their careers. So they're both back. And then two newcomers, a kid named Jake Dresselhaus, who is a true freshman from Orchard Lake St. Mary's, who's a very, very dynamic player. I think he's going to be an outstanding player here for us. And then we have a transfer from a junior college in Greg Ziegler. And Greg went to Missouri State out of high school, transferred to a junior college, and now is here with us. And so, got four outfielders that I think are really going to really compete for those three spots. And it's going to be fun to watch how it shakes out. But they can all, defend. They can all do some things on the bases. They all run very well. So should be fun to see. As far as the infield is concerned, a lot of those guys are back too, really. Dylan Kark at third, Mitch Jebb at short, Trent Farquhar at second, Brock Vredenberg at first. All those guys have started for us the majority of the year last year. And so, everybody's back there. Randy Seymour is a talented freshman as a backup, as is Jacob Anderson, a redshirt freshman. And then Sam Bush at first base and John Malcolm, both left-handed hitting first baseman with a lot of power. So, I would assume one of those guys would DH in there as well. So the catchers are, two of our three are back. Brian Brecker, caught a lot for us last year. Christian Williams is also back, and, Christian continues to get better and better. And then we added Sam Thompson to the list, and Sam is a graduate transfer from Kent State University and really good catch and throw guy. So, we feel pretty good with our depth, really all over the field, the outfield, the infield, and behind the plate. And then on the mound, a lot deeper than we were a year ago on the mound. Again, got some guys back and healthy, and so we're excited about that. And just a lot of new guys too that not quite sure how it's going to shake out just yet, but we'll know more obviously a couple weeks into the season. But Andrew Carson is back, not quite sure what his role is going to be just yet. Adam Berghorst is healthy after blowing his knee out a year ago, and so he's throwing well right now. Nick Powers is back and should be fully healthy. Tore his lat 2 years ago, and last year was kind of up and down, and but he's back and healthy now. Again for a full season, fall and spring. And so we're led by those guys. Wyatt Rush and Brian Martin are both seniors that have played a lot here for us and have done a nice job really kind of leading our pitching staff. So excited about the group. They work hard. They've done a great job in the classroom. They do everything that we ask them to do. They work hard in the weight room, and it's a fun group to be around. So we're excited to go compete with them.
Yeah. So let's talk about just really just getting by with how the Big Ten is going to look this year. It's going to look a lot different, obviously. When you play Michigan, obviously a familiar face there with Tracy coming back into the league. What's it going to be like to have Tracy back in the Big Ten and to have him at Michigan?
Well, Tracy's been a good friend for a long time. I knew Tracy back when he was at Miami of Ohio, and I was an assistant at Eastern Michigan. So he's a good friend, an outstanding coach, does a nice job. everywhere that he's been. And, obviously it's still a rivalry. And so, we'll go out and compete against those guys just like, like we do against anybody else. But obviously it does mean, a little bit more, I think, when there is a rival. We do get a chance to open up with Michigan this year out in Arizona, which is a little bit different, but it's it'll be good. I mean, we just want to go out and compete, and our guys are going to play hard.
The Big Ten is, we've seen over the years, and it's been a conference that's really kind of been growing, in terms of baseball and stuff. I know, there could have been 3 or 4 teams that probably could have gotten into the NCAA tournament last year. How good is this conference, you think?
Well, Casey, I think it's a really good conference, and I think the real shame of last year was Rutgers not getting a bid to the NCAA tournament. I think they were as good as anybody around, and I think they could have made a really nice run into a regional and maybe even won it. And for them to get snubbed like that, I think is a travesty, to be quite honest with you. And we as a conference we're not happy about how that played out. But again, top to bottom, it's a very talented league. I think Maryland's going to be really, really good this year. Iowa's going to be good. Some new coaches in the league at Michigan and Ohio State, and they'll bring in some new players as well. So, with an unbalanced schedule, you don't get the chance to play everybody. But the teams that we played last year, Illinois is always very good. Penn State just continues to get better and better over the last couple of years, and so Indiana's always been good. So it's going to be a very competitive league for us, and we're going to need to be ready to go.
When you and also going into this, let's talk about your non-conference schedule. You mentioned that you're going to play Michigan and Arizona this year. What else do you have on tap for your non-conference schedule?
Well, that first weekend we'll play 4 games against Michigan, Fresno State, Arizona, and Grand Canyon University. And so obviously 3 West Coast teams that are all outside practicing today, and we'll be in the gym. But 3 very good programs, outside of the familiarity that we do have with Michigan. And so that's going to be a very competitive weekend. And the second weekend we go to Spartanburg, South Carolina, play against 3 schools that again play very good baseball in Gardner-Webb, Presbyterian, and University of South Carolina Upstate. So some teams that maybe people around here aren't really familiar with, but 3 Southern schools that do play good baseball. The weekend after that is in Charleston, South Carolina, with Charleston Southern and College of Charleston. Again, 2 outstanding programs, and then we'll play Air Force on the back end of that trip, and then come back to finish out our spring break in Greenville, South Carolina, where we'll host Wofford, who I believe was a conference champion last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But very talented team in Wofford, and then Western Carolina and University of Kansas will be there, and we'll play them in a round robin tournament. So those first 4 weekends are going to be very, very competitive. We're going to know a lot about where we stand as a team, and yet we use it also to get ready for a very competitive Big Ten conference season as well.
Yeah, and just kind of talk about what you want to see out of your team out of the gate. I know that official practice is kind of starting in the next few weeks, and I know the season's just literally right around the corner. But what do you want to see out of this team heading out?
Well, obviously, playing hard is kind of a staple of our program, and so we expect that's an expectation that we have for all of our guys, and our guys have done a nice job of just competing their tails off for Michigan State, and so I don't anticipate that being any type of an issue. But when the first time you put the spikes on and you see a fly ball and things like that, it's it comes back pretty quick. So for us, control the things you can control, make the routine play, and just compete your tail off, and we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, Jake Boss Jr., thanks for coming on, and and best of luck to the Spartans this season.
All right. Thanks so much, Casey.